With this exciting addition of Vancouver Island Film Studios in Parksville, British Columbia is now home to close to 3 million square feet of studio space.
The motion picture industry just keeps getting bigger on Vancouver Island.
We started with the Guy Garage project, which is a high-end storage facility that's lending itself to some film studio space here. And we started to evolve. Joan said, you just keep building and we'll keep finding the films.
Before a crowd of local government officials, film production crews, and other members of the motion picture industry, the Vancouver Island North Film Commission announced the opening and construction of a 32,000 square foot purpose-built film studio off the Alberni Highway near Parksville.
This means it's just another piece of the pie for Vancouver Island. We're collectively putting everything together we need to develop the film sector so that we're not just a location only, but that we become a very big part, we hope, of our economic development.
The studios being built by developer Ron Giovetti will have 3 sound stages, office space, and construction and prop shops. 2 of the buildings have already been built. A third is currently under construction, which is expected to be ready by early 2018, with 2 more to be built on site after that.
Today, BC is the 3rd largest production center in North America and #1 in Canada.
Vancouver Island Film Studios is already open for business. For the past 2 years, it has been providing some space for production of the Hallmark Channel series Chesapeake Shores, which is hoping to be renewed for a 3rd season.
We're really looking forward to continue working with a lot of the vendors that we've already worked with, and also to become a new customer for Vancouver Island Film Studios and start accessing the facilities, and also being hopefully a test show for working it all out.
The production of Chesapeake Shores in the Oceanside area has been a significant contributor to the Vancouver Island economy.
This year, we're really excited to announce that we have up to 50% employment of local crew here. So last year we were around 38–40%, and this year we've got up to 50%. So that accounts for about 159 local crew that were employed on the show. And then that contributes into about 2.6 million in payroll directly into the hands of crew. And then on top of that, the vendor spend and the per diem that we spend. So in aggregate, the combined spend this year directly into the local Vancouver Island economy was 5.5 million.
But the numbers now will jump exponentially. I mean, it's a lot when people come and stay for a day or 2 days or 3 days. But if they're going to come here and spend 2 months, 3 months, we're going to see our numbers begin to really grow.
I do think there's certainly a need for the greater good of production in the industry. I would also say, though, that I think what it does is it helps producers that haven't come to the region feel a lot better about the infrastructure here and know that, if you do have a few days, you've got to go and shoot out in Nanaimo Bay, you can also tag it up with some studio sets that you need to build.
Today is something that I've been dreaming about for years. It's something that we've worked towards in 20 years, dreaming of having a film studio right in the Mid-Island area. It's a great day of celebration.
Over 40,000 BC residents are employed by the motion picture industry, which translates into over $1 billion a year in wages earned in the province. More than $10 million of that is earned here in Vancouver Island North. For Shaw TV, I'm Annette Lucas.
It's a very exciting day for me here because if people know me, I'm a comic book geek, hockey geek, and I love my movies, especially sci-fi movies like Star Wars. With me today is Greg Breen, and today we're in his ship shop. Is that correct?
That's it.
So Greg, what is this ship shop and why did you start doing this?
Well, I was doing props for a lot of the theater groups in Nanaimo, and that lasted for about 4 years, and then I got my MS flared up, so I had to take it easy for a while. So I came out here when I felt better and put a little bit into it. I couldn't really do a lot because of my MS. So I would just come out and do a bit, and then I would leave it, do it at my own speed, and then I would come out when I felt like it.
So how long have you been working on it? Because right now, this is elaborate. I know you can't really see everything on camera, but yeah. It's from top to bottom, all 4 walls. There's not a break anywhere. This is an amazing job you've done. How long have you been working on the shop?
Well, this must have been about 4 years doing all this.
This is like really, this is like a dream come true for somebody like me. Like this is so authentic. Like you walk in, you think you're on the set of a Star Wars movie or you're on a Borg ship. And one of my favorite things growing up as a kid, Greg, was Star Wars blasters. I've always wanted a Star Wars blaster. And look at this. I came in here, I thought this was an authentic Stormtrooper gun from the Star Wars movies. And this is something you made.
Yes.
What's it made out of?
It's just made out of parts that I've found. It's a lot of piping, trim for an automobile, and just some wood. You know, I found an old gun, I just cut it off and put it on.
And it's heavy.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a real weapon. And like, quite frankly, if you look at it, like, you know, with special effects,
Oh yeah.
and here's another one you made, more of it's on a stand. This looks like more like what the snowtroopers used in Empire Strikes Back.
That's right.
This
Yeah.
is parodying?
Yeah.
And a little bit longer range, I guess, in the snow.
This is made from a flashlight,
There's a flash right here, okay.
piping, ski pole handle, old cane for the shoulder, and this was a battery charger, and just all sorts of little gizmos that I put on it.
So when you're creating this stuff, do you draw it out and map it out like a plan, or you just you envision it and just put it all together?
Yeah, you just come and just start doing it, right? It just comes together.
So Greg, you've done amazing work in this shop. Are you done? Are you ever done?
No, I'm never done. Things pop up all the time. I just made these all these lightsabers down here.
That's quite the collection of lightsabers. And just so you know, these are not the cheap plastic ones you buy in stores. These are full metal, like, and they have weight to them. They look so realistic. The only thing they don't do is light up for real and cut things, do they?
That's right, that's where special effects come into play.
How do you go about making one of these things?
I just looked at a picture and just started finding parts and putting them together. Like this is an old sink handle from Europe that they used originally on the original ones. This is a gear from a machine. This on the original one was a Graflex clamp. These are bubbles from a calculator. It's what they did in Star Wars too. They didn't mold anything. They just made it out of stuff they found. And that's exactly what I'm doing here.
So you're using these props as sort of like your workshop here, kind of like therapy for your...
It is. It's therapy from the condition I have.
And one thing I noticed too is you have a big, huge corner. This is your skull corner, it looks like. You have a name for this corner?
This is where the Borg baby.
Oh, Borg baby right here?
These are all his trophies.
Oh, I see. So he simulates people and this is his trophy case. It's kind of like the Predator sort of thing, but it's the baby Borg.
Well, he used to be part of the collective, but he didn't like that was not fun anymore, so he became carnivorous. and he started eating people and everything like that, so he just puts all his trophies up on the wall here.
That's a lot of trophies.
It is.
I'm sensing a big, huge Star Wars fan from you, possibly.
One of the biggest, if not the biggest.
So Greg, you have to help me out. Since the 70s, there's been a debate. Which is better, Star Wars or Star Trek? Now, if I'm in a battle, we have Star Trek gun or a Star Wars blaster. Greg, which one do you feel better in a battle with?
I think the blaster would be better to use.
I think that just ends the debate right there. Come on, this is a lot more intimidating than this little thing. Like, pew, pew.
Yeah, people laugh in the face.
Exactly, you just got like moving parts.
Yeah.
I think we just settled the debate right now. Star Wars over Star Trek.
It's Star Wars for sure.
Star Wars!
Yeah.
Yeah! That was like Chewbacca there, right? Yeah!
My name is Annabelle Apel. I'm from Newfoundland originally, and I grew up with accordions, and the last thing in the world I thought I would ever play is an accordion. Couldn't stand them. But somewhere along the line, things changed, and here I am. I'm in love with a squeeze box. I get told often that I don't play by the written music, which is true. I don't go note for note. As long as I keep the main theme, I do break all the rules, I know that. But I have fun doing it. If we're doing a polka and I want to go Yahoo, I go Yahoo. It's music from my soul. When I hear an accordion, I want to dance, I want to sing, I want to laugh, I want to giggle, I want to do it all. That spells fun. It just means pure, pure joy for me.
We're fortunate here on Vancouver Island to experience some very mild winters, and what better way to get out and enjoy some fresh air than to check out Englishman River Falls Park, which is just outside of Parksville. Located near Arrington, just a short drive from the Oceanside area, Englishman River Falls Park is one of many breathtaking parks on Vancouver Island that offers camping, picnic areas, swimming, hiking, and not to mention 2 spectacular waterfalls hidden within a majestic old-growth and second-growth forest. So we found the park map, and as you can see, it's just a circle loop that goes between the upper and lower falls. But I'm not the extreme kind of adventure person, and it says that there's dangerous cliffs, so I'm feeling a little uncomfortable right now.
Are you lost?
No, but I'm just very hesitant on dangerous cliffs in this park.
Luckily for you, there happens to be a park naturalist in the park today. Yay! Trust me, the dangerous cliffs are a long ways from the trail, so you'll be safe as long as you stay on the trail. The waterfalls are spectacular, but it's also an incredibly peaceful place to be hiking. I mean, this park was put in place to protect old-growth Douglas fir forest, so there's some huge trees, especially for visitors that aren't used to seeing that. When you see a tree like that that's almost looks like clouds of moss, it's usually a maple tree.
There are 3 kilometers of maintained trails that wind through Englishman River Falls Park. The pathway to the upper falls is easily walkable, so that those with limited mobility can still enjoy the magnificent views of the falls.
Whoa, now that's intense.
The sound of rushing water is almost deafening, but the view of the upper falls is worth it, especially in the winter months.
You can see down the sides of the canyon that there were plants there, but they've been washed off. We had some flooding earlier, and there was a lot of water coming through.
It's time to head down to the lower falls. Along the trail, you can see the diversity of the trees that call the Englishman River Falls their home. And as you look closely, in among the trees, you can see the majestic western red cedar and ancient Douglas fir.
This is where you hope the roots are pretty strong.
Walking past the giant trees, we're about halfway around the trail now with only one more stop to go, the lower falls.
The lower falls kind of disappeared, that's the story in the last few years, but when there's a lot of water flowing with the heavy flooding, it'll actually come over that rock.
These calm pools are also host to some spectacular views of spawning salmon in the fall, but there's no fishing allowed in the park at any time of the year. What are we going to see next?
Well, there's always something to see in nature, but when you're walking uphill, you might want to find some places to look at more closely so you can catch your breath.
Well, I was fortunate today to have Allie take me on a tour of Englishman River Falls, but you know, you have to check it out for yourself. I'm Jocelyn Nashby, and we're going to see you on the next adventure.
I put a heavy gel to make it really smooth here in the water. And you can kind of feel the waves of the shore. I wanted to make my art accessible to people like me.
28-year-old artist Richard Harlow holds his face close to the canvas as he applies strokes of blue paint to his newest piece of tactile art.
What I did was actually try and incorporate 3D aspects, which are kind of more sculptural, into my paintings. For instance, in my Syrian painting that I did, I have rubble that was used in the painting, and I got pieces of broken ceramics and adhered them to the canvas for the rubble. And I got sand from the beach to be able to like add that into the painting itself, into the paint. And so when a person with vision impairment actually runs their hands over the painting, they can get all the same sort of, I guess, aspects of the painting, but just from a tactile sense.
A genetic disease that affects the optic nerve robbed Richard of most of his eyesight over 9 years ago. He has had to adjust his way of life, alter education and career paths, and learn new methods to paint, which has led to a new kind of painting.
I was diagnosed with Leber's optic hereditary neuropathy. So now I have lost all my central vision, and I see using only the little bit of peripheral vision that I still have left. The way that I kind of do it is like, I have to like not look directly at the spot that I'm trying to paint. Mm-hmm. My best field of vision is actually like the bottom left,
So if I'm like staring up here, I'm actually working on something down here.
It was so difficult for me to just pick up a brush and even think about doing painting again. I didn't do painting for several years, nearly 6 years after I lost my sight. Now I'm back into it. I like advertising my art as accessible art because it's tactile for people with vision impairment. But whenever people are in an art gallery, there's always those signs that say, please do not touch the art. Well, if I ever have my own art gallery showing, I encourage people to touch my art if they have clean hands, of course.
As an artist myself, I think that's amazing, and I'm so thrilled that he's found that way to present his work. Just the ways that he's found accommodations to look at the art and to draw by using his iPhone to be able to zoom in and look at particular aspects of what he wants to draw, and then using the color and the texture.
Just in the water, there's probably nearly 7 layers of paint, and in the sky, there's so many layers as well.
Richard's desire to enrich experiences for people with disabilities goes beyond his paintings.
The frustrating thing right now is there's so many people with disabilities that are either unemployed or underemployed. A person with a disability is just as able to work like anyone else, is just as capable as anyone else. And if you give a person with a disability a chance, they will impress the heck out of you.
Richard started the Disability Awareness Club on campus several years ago, and with that he was part of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. And he's also been integral in changing the icon for the parking spaces for handicap parking.
Well, the accessible icon shows movement, it shows strength, shows that the person is actually overcoming their mobility disability. The focus is on the person instead of the tool, which is the wheelchair. Because I'm a blind person, I don't like being known as Richard, that blind guy with the white cane. I'm Richard, the blind guy with a white cane, but also the artist, the guy who does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the guy that does activism in the community, the guy that volunteers, that's taking psychology and visual arts at VIU. It's just one aspect to who I am.
It was definitely a big change for Richard, but I feel like he's embraced it, and he's found a way to make this become a positive for him. And he does definitely work to change and make changes for people with disabilities, and find ways to bring people out and look at their strengths within their disabilities.
Disability is only one aspect of who they are. And in society, it's more focused on the disability, unfortunately. I just want to be able to change people's perceptions of how disabled people are seen, and so that may help change employment opportunities and education. I just want to help improve the lives of other people with disabilities.
Extreme science.
All right, so what we're gonna do is some extreme chemistry right now. So what I got is some marshmallows. Basically, it's foam. And what we're gonna do is some really cool stuff on it. We're gonna expand it. We're gonna simulate the space program. This is what happens when an astronaut goes up into space. This is what the chemists had to figure out when they sent an astronaut into extreme environments. So what they do, they had to insulate the spacesuits. They use a foam. Foam has got air in it. The problem with that is the air inside the foam really likes to run away in a vacuum of space. So how do you get around that? Well, I'm gonna show you what happens when you put foam, or in this case, this marshmallow astronaut, in space. So we're gonna put the dome on. You're gonna put that on. What we got over here is a sibling. He's gonna go into space, he's gonna stay on Earth, and you're gonna see what's gonna happen. You're gonna see this extreme transformation of that foam. All right, let's turn on the vacuum. All right, so it's going up into space. There we go. Look what's happening. He's already keeled over. This is pretty extreme. He's getting fatter and fatter. So what happens is right now, all the air that's trapped inside that foam, inside this marshmallow, is trying to get out. So it's pushing, pushing, and pushing. Now imagine if you're that astronaut inside the spacesuit who's being like crushed to death. And so at that point, it keeps on going, and going, and going. Now, what happens when he comes back down to Earth? Let's see what happens. Let's turn the vacuum on and put air back inside of it. You can open it up. It's all shriveled up. So that's pretty extreme right there. This is what happens when scientists had to figure out how to send someone to space to make them look like this rather than this. And that's pretty extreme chemistry.
It's so much fun here with Ladysmith friends and family, also known as LAUGH. Jacqueline, what can you tell us about LAUGH?
Well, LAUGH's a family resource program, and we've been running for 20 years now. And it's a place, kind of like a community living room, where families can come because they're having a great day, or sometimes because they're having a terrible day. But it's just a great way to connect with each other, but also a great way for resource providers to come and connect with families as well.
Yeah, because although there's lots of kids having lots of fun and playing, this is not a play group. This is about resources. What kind of resources do you connect families with?
So fortunately, we have a great connection with like the Child Development Center, the Town of Ladysmith, the Health Authority. So Vancouver Island Health Authority will send a speech language pathologist, or the health nurse, the dietitian, and many, many other resource providers will come and connect with families and often have some early intervention and prevention around issues that families might not even know that there is an issue.
It's not just about connecting with resources, it's also about nutrition and all kind of life lessons here at LAUGH. Tell me a little bit about what this soup is.
So this is our Stone Soup program, and kids come and families come and we make soup together, a great big pot of it, and that's every Tuesday. But every day of the week we do some kind of food programming, and again it's just a way of connecting families and also making sure that children know where their food is coming from, and parents get to learn how to have their children help them. So it's not just about what's going on here, but they can take those skills home with them. This is our clothing exchange, and it's so well utilized. We find that families come and bring things, leave them when their kids have outgrown them, and then other people come and grab them. And there's no stigma around it. Like sometimes that might be the case, but we just make sure that everyone feels that it's just a whole bunch of great clothes that people have outgrown. And
I think that's awesome, because kids often outgrow them before they ever outwear them, right?
Oh yeah.
So what a great resource. Yeah. And then this wall here, you were saying, this is where people have kind of shown their appreciation for LAUGH, and there's some great kind comments. Who is this for, and how can people get involved?
LAUGH is actually an organization for everyone. So whether you're a parent and you want to come and attend with your child, age 0 to 6, or your parent, grandparent, caregiver, that's great, but it's also for volunteers. And so we have a really extensive youth volunteer program and senior volunteer program. And so if you want to get in touch with us, you can either come right to Aggie Hall Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 12, or in the summer we actually reduce our hours to Tuesdays and Thursdays. So pop in or visit us on our website at www.familyandfriends.ca.
My life was pretty happening over the past few years. I was the bomb.com. I was down with all the freshest lingo, and then I turned 30 and started going to bed at 9 p.m. and suddenly I don't know what any of the cool sayings are anymore. I mean, I know I'm nowhere near as old as Todd behind the camera. Hey! But I still can't help but feel disconnected. So that only leaves one thing to do. Let's hit the streets and learn some new vocabulary. You picking up what I'm putting down? Word.
What kind of sayings are people using these days?
It's a pretty broad question. Oh, you put me on the spot.
She says bling bling a lot, and she says ting-a-ling-ling.
I'm old though.
Are you? How old are you? I'm 17.
22.
I had a conversation with my cousins on Thanksgiving about what's cool in 2017.
Things like LOL or RIP if something goes wrong.
I say mint, that's mint.
Yeah.
Would you just say LOL in regular conversation?
Yeah.
Even if you're not laughing?
Even if I'm not laughing.
LOL.
Goals. So if someone's got like, I don't know, they got really nice eyebrows, and like you want really nice eyebrows, you're like, wow, you got eyebrow goals.
Somebody who has a lot of clout has like a lot of influence.
That's woke, or like, she's woke.
What's up, bruv?
Okay.
I'm Pickle Rick. And wubble of a dub-dub.
Now I know you must be thinking, Fiona, do you really expect me to remember all of this? Take a chill pill. I got your back. Presenting the top 5 sayings that you need to know.
Number 5, lit.
People like to describe everything as being lit.
If you're out with your friend and you're having a good time, you're like, it's lit.
Basically, if anything's like really fun or really cool, just be like, this is lit. Like it's fire, like it's good, like it's crazy.
Do you think the story's gonna be lit?
I think so. Very lit.
Number 4, fam.
That's like your friend group. So it's like your family, which is really cute.
We always just say, it's lit, fam.
That means like a brother or like a friend.
And what does that mean, it's lit, fam?
I don't know how to explain that. Like, this is really fun, fam, kind of thing.
You ever refer to people as your fam?
Not really.
Maybe.
Todd and I can be your fam now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Number 3, on fleek and on point.
What's the difference between on fleek and on point?
I would use it a little bit different, like, oh damn, that girl is on fleek. But then I'm like, oh, your eyeliner is like, you know, on point.
Dressed on fleek. Like your shoes are on point.
Your eyebrows on fleek.
They're pretty much the same thing, just 2 different ways of saying it.
On fleek means just fresh,
Ah.
clean.
Which one do you like better?
On point,
On point's the best one.
I think.
On fleek. On fleek?
Yeah.
Oh, lots of different opinions.
Black woman in Texas, she started that whole thing. She said, oh, my eyebrows are on fleek. That was the originator of that term.
Look at this, very educational.
Number 2, throwing shade.
Like, say you and a friend have a bad relationship or something, and one person doesn't realize it, it'd be called throwing you shade if one's being mean to the other. Kind of like dissing someone?
Oh, that's not very good.
Now, dissing, I feel like that's kind of a not really in anymore, though.
No.
So why did you say it?
I don't know.
I kind of use it towards professors, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm like, whoa, they're throwing some shade.
You're not being like straight up with me. You're just being like kind of like shady.
I'm gonna be honest, a lot of people didn't want to stop and talk to me. I feel like they were throwing me some shade.
It's probably the weather.
Yes.
Not you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Number 1, Gucci.
Have you heard of Gucci?
Yeah, I've heard. That's the first time I heard it, like 3 days ago or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
so that is really fresh.
Gucci. Oh yeah, that's Gucci. Means that's good.
That's Gucci.
Yeah.
Gucci's good too.
I hear Gucci is like really good though.
Like really good.
Yeah.
It's just like it's your best. Like doesn't get much better than that.
It's just a new way of saying it.
Maybe I'll say one to you, and you can tell me if you've heard this one before, because all this on fleek, on point, on Gucci is a little bit new to me. Talk to the hand, because the face don't want to listen.
What?
I've never heard that. I thought it was gonna go the other way, and I've never heard that one before.
I think my dad would have said something like that, honestly.
Oh man, I haven't heard that in so long.
Which way did you think it was going to go? It wasn't heading in a good direction. Talk to the hand, because the face don't want to listen.
I know vacation.
Vacation.
The hands are on vacation, no?
Oh.
It sounds very dated.
That's a little old.
And what about this one? Hey, you're all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah, I've heard something like that.
Recently?
No.
I think that's a 90s phrase that people don't use anymore.
I've never heard that one before. Is that a thing?
I'm beginning to think it's not, yeah. Although I still have a ways to go. You know what they say, practice makes Gucci. Or was it practice makes on point? On fleek? Mint. Lit.